Okay. Now we are live on YouTube. Hello, everyone. Talk and Talk is a platform for conversation in English, Spanish, French, and Italian. This is an English immersion. We are here to talk, and everyone here is free to make mistakes. This is not an English class. If you want to have classes, we have it here at Talk and Talk. And you can find more information on website. I'm Mariana. I'm here to guide this conversation and to learn too. I live in Italy. I study economics and data science, and I like to learn new language and to do sports. Today, I'm here with Ricardo, and we are going to talk about career path, part 2. So let's start. Ricardo, can you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Ricardo. I live at São Vicente. It's a small city or medium size, south coast from São Paulo. So in this case, I live in this region since I was born. So I love beats and other aspects from live near from the beach. And well, I'm married. I have a daughter. I have 2 cats. And I love hang out with my friends and family, barbecues, dancing, music. That's it.
Thank you. And can you read the second question, please?
Okay. How did you decide on your current career? Tell us about your career path from the beginning until now. Well, when I was a child, I used to say that I want to be an electronic engineer because in that time, it's the computers and the topics correlated is not a reality, just in movies and the books or something. So in that time, I used to say that is because my knowledge on that time is around this topic. But after some while, I grew up a little and I noticed that the computer, this word is my dream. And well, I started to study when I got in the high school, technical course. So, and after that, I started to work in a correlated career, that's a cable TV company. And my career is essentially, I work in this area, telecommunications and the correlated transmission by transmissions by different ways, air, cables, but essentially is telecommunications and the one infrastructure and some things like that. And well, after some while, I got in the college, and so I graduated in telecommunication engineer. I made a MBA too, is project management. and another's a lot of courses. So it's there's more traditional courses that you take. You took a year or 2 year or more. I have around 5 courses like that, and the other courses that's fast courses, 1 hour until 1 week. I had more than 100. Unfortunately, well, I love uh, studying and interest things or something like that. And nowadays is necessary to keep up to date to any kind of job. But I believe that in my sector is the worst one or the best one, depends on the point of view, because every day is necessary to follow the waves, because the waves don't stop, never stop. So every day it creates a gadget, a new software, or a new implementation, a new version. So in this case, sometimes it's a little exhausted, but is a necessity, certainly.
Yeah, thank you. I have another question because tomorrow I have a technical interview. So I want to know how did you prepare yourself to technical interviews? When you did?
Well, there are a lot of different, well, probably you noticed I talk a lot. Well,
Great.
I don't face much problems when I have to express on myself, my feelings and my thoughts. But certainly there are a lot of content on the internet about interviews and the thing. And recently I made a course, another course about ChatGPT, and it's possible to that's wonderful. It's possible to choose different aspects. For example, I am going to participate of a job interview. I don't know, like counselor or any kind of job, and you could request to the ChatGPT, please simulate an interview between a human resources guy and a a competitor, and the job is X, and the ChatGPT creates a simulation, creates a dialogue between the both persons, and is really interesting about it. But normally I made the researches about the specifications, about the company, and yeah, it's sometimes is hard to avoid put yourself under pressure or something like that. But essentially, I believe that is the other side. The human resources have a hard task too, because sometimes they have to decide a lot of options, and which one is not the best one, but is the best fit for this job. So in this case, well, show, express yourself, show your skills, your experience, and well, it's not exactly a secret or key or a really good strategy that is possible to change so much the thoughts about you. I believe that it's best situation for both sides, because suddenly sometimes, particularly in Brazil, is hard because it's not so easy to find a good job. What's mean? Receive a good salary or enough salary to a good salary enough to pay your bills and things. That's a really awful sometimes. But well, if you have good conditions, certainly you got this job and you could work in the same company a long of time. Probably you got promotion, and if you someday maybe search for another job, is our life. A long time ago, it's so common that people getting the job and keeping the same job for a long time. But nowadays, it's another reality. But I could notice that this situation is, I don't know, around the 2000, is stop a while. What's mean? The people keep in the same job long time, but around 2010, the system changed a little, because a lot of employees quit from this job to a better job or receive more money. So this reality is a little different, because currently it's common. For example, in my company, that's so different, because I work in cable TV or telecommunication operators most part of my career, and well, it's common. The people have 10 years in the same job or more than 10 years, and nowadays every year, I don't know, 100 people go out and this getting another job. It's a new perspective for me. That's it.
Mainly in the technology area.
Yeah, essentially in technology area. Yeah, because I work almost in my entire career in this field, so it's common. I remember I work. My office is in Barueri, and the work and the live at São Vicente. So it's 150 kilometers. So normally I took 5 hours and a half the path between my house and my job. And I worked a long time ago in São Paulo. Is that's weird, and is so much near 80, 70 kilometers, but the time is almost the same, because São Paulo is well, rush hour is it's a terrible situation. So it's possible to keep in touch for another people on the bus, and sometimes for example, there is a guy that's working the network infrastructure in this field, and he made how do you say, he changed the career. He was formed in this field, networking and computers networking, something like that, and it changed for TI programmer, I believe, an app designer or something. So, and he got in a new course, a new college, started to study in this new college, and he got a new job like an intern. But after 3 months, he found a new job, and in this new job, you work like a permanent contract. So, and I'm sorry, he told for the guy, the company. So, oh, I'm sorry, I very appreciate this opportunity, but unfortunately, I'm married. So I have to pay my bills, and it's not possible to keep like an intern in this job. So in this case, I receive a new opportunity. So, okay, my friend, don't worry. I could hire you like a permanent contract. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. But he received a new opportunity every day, really every day. So in this case, in 6 months or 5 months, he starts or he starts a new career. He starts a new career, and he got a company like an intern after uh, change for permanent and quit from a new job in the 5 months. That's really wonderful situation. But
Yeah, exponential
yeah,
crescimento exponencial.
yeah, but yeah, for the hand, the salary is not so high when you receive a lot of opportunities. Normally, these opportunities don't receive a so good salary, but for other hand, it's almost impossible to uh, lost your job and don't get a new one. Apparently, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is a new jobs. This kind of job was created in the last 10, 15 years. So in this case, it's certainly the people uh, have to create a new sector, and well, it's a new perspective. For the hand, there are some whiles on the companies have to quit a lot of employees too, particularly in big techs like Meta, Twitter,
Layoff.
Amazon, and others. But I believe that sometimes is I use it to say for my workmates and other people. Any company count how how many cups, plastic cups. I don't know if you
Black?
copinhos plásticos, né?
Ah,
Any company count how many cups you have to buy. But one of the things became worse. Uh, when the money is missing, uh, the companies normally quit any kind of person dependent of your ability or experience. So sometimes it's a little weird.
yeah.
For example, my company is a wonderful company. It's not just I don't tell that not because you're sharing our talk in the internet YouTube.
Uh-huh.
For example, I don't know much companies that's possible to give beer during happy hours. I don't know, but I believe that's is 3 or 4 companies that I know. So every week on Fridays or Thursday, actually in Thursday, because Friday, a lot of people work as a home office in my company. So in this case, Friday, anyone wanted to go to the office. So in this case, he closed the office on Friday. So in this case, the happy hour was changed to Thursday. So in this case, today, a lot of people after the job, around the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, go to the a room where it's possible to eat salgadinhos and drink beer. It's wonderful situation. But
That's nice.
for the hand, what?
That's nice.
Oh yeah. For the other hand, sometimes I was thinking about the situation. Someday, Brazil is a lot of mess, and the economy could become worse, and you don't have enough money to face this period, sometimes. And this is why, because unfortunately, with 4 years, I don't know, we used to have a big crisis. So unfortunately, our economy in Brazil is not as Brazilians said. Brazil is not for amateurs. So yeah.
Yeah, because of this, I leave Brazil.
Exactly.
And the next, how do you define success in your career? And have your definitions evolved over time?
The first part, I got it, but have your definitions evolved over time? I didn't understand.
It have changed when you were younger. You thought about success in one way, and now it's changed.
Well, success is well, I believe that success is like health. What's mean? The organization, the health organization, World Health Organization, tell that health is a completely state of mental and body health. So in this case, is almost impossible to have complete health from this perspective, because every day you have some how do you say, some problem. So for the hand, when you correlated this sentence with jobs, is almost impossible to have a complete success, because normally you have to conciliate your job with your personal life. So it's almost impossible. But I consider myself a success person because my company provided me enough time to conciliate my career with my personal life and the other situations. I receive a good salary, enough to pay my bills, because on Brazil is so hard to got enough money to, I don't know, travel 2-3 times a year or something like that. So I consider myself a social person when you talk about it. And well, when I was a child, I thought about this situation. Then nowadays, I got this. When I was a child, I expected a situation. Then today, I got this situation. Got a new job, and conciliate my life. So particular nowadays now because I work at home, so I live in a dream because it's comparing my situation now from the past. As I told you, I used to take 5 hours and a half between my home and my job. So sometimes, well, okay, I sleep on the bus or I read a book or something. That's nice. But sometimes, for example, nowadays I stop. I go out from my job and I go to the gym. I I after I go to the supermarket, I made some shop, and I come back to my house. I made my dinner. I eat my dinner, and when I stop, it's almost 9 o'clock, 8:30 p.m., 9 o'clock p.m. So normally I used to arrive in my city around 8 o'clock. So in this case, it's much better for me. Even if you don't go out in the exact time, 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. Normally, my correct time to go out is 4 o'clock, but normally I kept in my job until 5 o'clock, almost 5 o'clock. So in this case, is even I'm go out in if I go out at 5 o'clock, it's much better than to work at Barueri, for example, or São Paulo. But it's my business, because I could change, I could move to another city, São Paulo, for example. But well, my wife work here, and this is difficult, particularly because in my region, unfortunately, we don't have so many opportunities. That's sad, but unfortunately, is our reality.
Yeah, but it is good to healthy live near the beach.
Well, sometimes that's weird, because it's probably you could notice. I'm not exactly a good example, because it's not so easy to notice that I live near from the beach. But sometimes I love think about, okay, I I I don't use it to I didn't use go to the beach, but it's near for me. But sometimes it's possible I have a wonderful situation. Sometimes I had lunch. My lunch hour is 1 hour. 1 hour. It's take 1 hour. Sometimes it's possible to have lunch and go to the beach. Just a while. I walk during 20 minutes. So it's a wonderful situation.
A
It's
dream.
not. Yeah. Sometimes it's. Uh, I don't. I can't relax completely, because during my walk I used to think about my problems, my job, and other things. But normally, when I have time and the climate is proper for this situation, I used to go, because I believe that it's possible to feel some good feelings, and maybe try to move my mood. I don't know.
Yeah, good. The sea helps. For me, the sea helps.
I like to think this way. I don't know if you really solve, but well, I don't
Yeah.
know.
And about me, success when I was a child, I thought success was earning a lot of money. But today I see that is have a balance between
Yeah. Hmm.
personal and professional life.
I don't know if you understand well. You work, you live at Italy, but you work remotely on Brazil or not?
No, I'm not working. I
Ah,
work
okay.
as a volunteer,
Ah,
as a
great.
data analyst. Analyst, yes, remotely from an ONG in Brazil. But
Ah, great.
I'm looking for a job here in Italy.
Certainly.
Doing
Yeah,
some interviews.
the perspective is good if you, well, you speak English very well. So in this case, it's possible to work in different countries, not specifically
Yeah,
in Italy.
yeah, I'm looking for in Europe.
Ah, great, great. You have a community support, I believe, or
Yes,
not?
Italian.
Okay. Yeah, I that's weird. I have three nationalities. I'm a
Oh,
Brazilian, Portuguese, and Spanish too. Actually, my mother is a Portuguese, and so a long time ago, uh, I got the second nationality, and that's okay. It's not so different. You uh, receive or got a nationality from Europe because of the common market, but my father requests me to this situation. What's just by how do you say, how do could explain this in English about a feeling, about heart, because oh, I would like to become a Spanish because my father is Spanish and something like that. And in that time, I couldn't receive this nationality, Spanish, because the rules is if you son from Spanish, it's possible to initiate this process in any time during your life. But if you are grandchildren for Spanish, just until 18 years old. And when I got this nationality, I have more than 18 years old. But the Spanish create I don't know how do you say this word in English, a period from 3 years possible to grandchildren more than 18 years old got this nationality. So in this case, my father, okay, come on, go to the ambassador. I don't know how to say. And okay, I so nowadays I have this other nationality.
it's good. Portuguese and Brazilian.
Yeah, three.
Would you
Yeah,
like to
if
live here in
what?
Europe? Would you like to live here in
Mm,
Europe?
I don't have this dream, uh, but maybe someday. Depends. I believe that I just uh, moved to Portugal or Spain for some necessity. I lost my job and I don't get anyone, another one, so I could move to Europe. But it's not a dream. I love my family, and I don't know if I would find happiness on Europe. I don't know, but my wife you'd like to go, but not exactly for the opportunities, job or something, but just because of the violence in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
My my wife have a lot of concerns about it. Me too. I believe that's it. Every Brazilian have this concern about this. I believe, in my opinion, is the worst problem. A
My
lot of
opinion.
people, yeah, a lot of people tell about the education. Okay, health system, education is completely the importance is. I totally agree about the importance these two service, public service. But I use it to say, uh, for you receive a good service like education and health service, it's necessary to be alive. So if you was killed, is not have any kind of importance to receive a good service like that. So in this case, I believe that, sometimes uh, there is a terrible situation, in my opinion, Brazil, because there are a lot of violence. In the Another situation is when you was how do you say, stolen, when you are was no, when you are stolen, normally you became a bad guy, not a victim, because when this thing happen, a lot of people tell, but what happened?
Mhm.
My opinion, this question is completely wrong, because doesn't matter what you was stolen. I was receive a phone call and they pick up the cell phone, and a guy uh, steal my cell phone. Okay, então the problem is I answer a phone call walking on the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, certainly is not possible to be a naive person, and depends on the place. Unfortunately, depends on the place and the time. It's not possible to answer the phone. Okay, but a long time ago, it's possible to find a better place, a safer place, but nowadays it's not possible. No? So in this case, I had an experience on Chile. I worked during a month. It's it's close, no? It's close. I believe that's three. I don't remember, but 3 or 4 hours by airplane. uh, I visit. I travel. I work on Manaus, and the trip took 6 hours. So Chile just 4 hours, or 3 hours. I don't remember. So on Chile is a new reality, and that's a weird situation, because when I make made a question, how about the safe in your place? They used to say, hay mucha delincuencia acá, no sé o qué. And well, I work, I live not, I stayed in a hotel, and this hotel is a place, and there are just offices and some stores. It's not exactly a residential place. And so in this case, I go to my job. I went to my job around midnight, 1 a.m., and they come back around 5 o'clock, sometimes 6 o'clock. On the Chile, the sunrise rose later, around 6. So in that time when I used to arrive in my hotel, it's dark yet. and I got in the lobby, the hotel hall, and the door was open. The guy that had your head down, look at the cell phone, and the headphone is too. And normally I got in my in the hotel, and the guy just notes my presence when I use it to cumprimentar. Esqueci agora como fala cumprimentar. Sometimes there are a blind in my a blank in my head, so I said good morning, something like that, and the guy, oh, hey buddy, and but even about the situation, I used to tell, how about the violence? Oh, hay mucha delincuencia acá. But I sometimes I got around 5 or 6 o'clock, and you have headphones and oh, but I'm pay attention that time. I look at the cameras. Okay, my friend is so different from Brazil.
You
So
don't know
different.
anything.
It's a new reality, for me, my friend. It's so different. It's not possible to do things like that in Brazil. So in this case, and when I arrived on Chile, well, I became a little afraid because I didn't know the place. So, but after some while, I started to notice some people walking on the streets using cell phones. In the coffee houses, some people let the cell phone or tablet on the table. Okay, and so in this case, I started relaxing and I enjoy. And someday I remember is a Wednesday, and I walk in the very big street, and there is a cashier. I don't know if you cashier. How do you say? Caixa eletrônico, né? And the ATM,
ATM.
ATM is a ATM. Is this ATM is just a square outside from the agency. So the guys got money on the sidewalk. So there are 3 people in a line waiting for got money too. It's not possible to believe. As a Brazilian, I have to take pictures and show for my families and the friends. Therefore, it's not possible. So it's a so normal situation. But in Brazil, unfortunately, if you do something like that in Brazil, certainly where a place under the policy give advices. Don't use the cell phone on the streets. Don't use juice, or don't took your children for a stadium, for example. So unfortunately, I believe that when you listen things like that, or watch or see some things like that, is a complete fall of our state. The governance is completely fall. Brazil is a country that's don't provide just simple things like that. So I know the situation. There are some problems in Europe, United States, but it's a simple situation, and there are thieves on this place, certainly. But normally, this guy don't use guns. They just pick up
Yes,
a
without
camera and they run.
noticing.
Yeah, so it's a so big difference. I have a friend, and he was living he is living on Canada. So Canada is so different. And someday, my friend was on the subway, and when I have to pass Roleta, subway entrance, I don't know, and there are a lot of money inside of the Roletas. That's a weird situation. And how about this money in the tickets inside of the Roleta? I'm sorry, guy, but we have a problem in Roletas. So in this case, we prefer release, let the Roletas open to don't disturb the passengers. But the guy, the passenger, noticed that's a problem on the roleta and let the money or the ticket inside of the the roleta. So I I think I thought completely fun in the situation. I thought, it's not possible. In Brazil, the guy still just the roleta and the money, everything so different. And sometimes, and my friend told me that's is a roleta free, uh, permanent. There are, I don't know, 5 or 6 roletas, and the roleta more the right side is for if you, I don't know, if you forgot your uh, money or forgot your tickets. So in this case, you could pass from this roleta and don't disturb the system.
No,
Yeah,
in
it's
Brazil,
so.
it's impossible.
Oh, it's very similar to Brazil. It's
Mhm.
and uh, I listened to a podcast and the guy was telling about Canada too, and he noticed a guy. Uh, this guy was uh, selling a bike, and this guy used to uh, use a bike every day and very interested about bikes. So in this case, he noticed the kind of bike, and this bike is costing around $2,000. So the guy was requesting $80. So in this case, he completed and understand that this is a stolen bike, and he bought this bike, and he went to take took this bike to the police station, and he told you for the officer, oh, my friend, I there is a guy selling was selling this bike and requesting $80. Certainly is a still stolen bike because I know this model and it costed around $2,000. Okay, okay, my friend. So in this case, the guy, the officer, took the bike and take notes. So okay, my friend. And after 30 days, my this guy received a phone call, and the officer, okay, my friend, uh, you could went to you could go to the police stations and pick up the bike because anyone claimed this bike. So in this case, this bike is yours now.
Oh my God.
So Brazil is a little different, huh?
Yes, it's another word in Brazil.
Sometimes it's hard to explain some situations for foreigners.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so hard. I in the same podcast, uh, there is a guy that's working on a Japanese company, and uh, the equipments was in a car, and I don't know how do you say, carro blindado? It's not a carro blindado, it's a, I forgot the name in Portuguese, so in this case it's so difficult to remember in English, né? Aqueles carro...
Carro forte?
Isso, carro forte. Coisa tão simples, a gente esquece. And he faced a lot of difficulties to explain for the Japanese that the guy used the fuzil and a lot of things and robbed the equipments because it's computers or something is so expensive. And so in this case, the company in Brazil preferred use a carro forte. But even someone discovered, I don't know, and they robbed the guys using fuzil and other things. But the Japanese told, but could you explain one more time? Because I don't understand. How about fuzil? What's mean fuzil? Is that a gun, a civil army gun? Yeah, but on the streets. So, and he told that he took 40 minutes or 30 minutes to explain all details because it's not just about the information. It's about the information and try to explain our reality. But because you maybe Japan is maybe is the safest country of the world, maybe. If you don't the first one is one of the first. So a top of 5 top, so something like that, 5th top. So in this case, unfortunately, is the only reason to move to another country. So I don't have this dream. And so in this case, I'm just 50 years old. So in this case, I don't know if you maybe, I believe that just traveling, like a visit, but not permanent. Maybe someday I could change my mind, but nowadays I don't think this way.
As you said, Brazil is not for amateurs.
Amateurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, unfortunately, there are a lot of this phrase is used to say a lot, because every day you listen this phrase because there are a lot of situations. For example, a couple of few weeks ago, I don't remember. This is a kind of bean. It's a very expensive. It's a species of vagem. It's a kind difficult, a different type of feijão bean. It's a green bean, and the guy painted the bean to. In this case, he pick a regular bean, painting for and using green tint, I don't know, and the sell tour for another kind of bean. So I believe in other country this thing don't happen. I don't know, but I believe that's not. In my opinion, I believe that's not possible to find a situation like that in another country. I don't know.
It's difficult to explain to other.
So it's so that's, and for other hand, we are so that's so common situations, and the Brazilian don't complain about it, just to laugh. For other hand, that's okay because it's a kind of positive view, but for other hand, it's a so madness situation. So sometimes it's difficult, but
yeah, it's fun, but it's sad.
yeah.
Here in Turin, I live in the worst place in Turin, more or less, the Italians say. But because last year had a stolen, furto. But only one, and the guy pick up the money and didn't pick up the cell phone.
Yeah.
But
Recently, nowadays in Brazil, there is a viral video from Italy, né? A girl or a woman. Exactly. And
here, I don't know. I think
three teenagers or kids, and I don't clear for me, but not clear for me, but it sounded like kids or teenagers ran after the woman scream.
In Venice, I think in touristy places are common, but they don't arrive with a gun.
Yeah.
If I'm with the cell phone in my hand, it's tranquilo.
Sure. But how to say the phrase?
What phrase?
The phrase that the woman, Italy woman told.
Attenzione, pickpocket.
Pickpocket. It's like trombadinha or something.
Yeah, I think yes. Or in Italy, attenzione, borteggiatrice.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Are you a host to Italy classes too?
No.
On TNT? Okay.
No, I talked with Philip, but it's difficult to do twice a week. So
okay.
I prefer English.
Okay.
I will put
you live on Italy. I believe that's you learn easier than English.
I've been learning Italy and English.
Certainly.
The server, please, if you can answer it, if you have some suggestions, topic suggestions too, please. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
The time passed 2 minutes.
Nice time.
Yes, it was a nice conversation. Thank you.